How a wise king caught a thief using only a mirror. Moral story to learn English. The mysterious theft in the palace. Long ago, in the peaceful kingdom of Aryavarta, there lived a wise and just king named King Arvind. His palace was known for its beauty and treasures, golden statues, silver vases, and gems that sparkled under the sunlight. Everyone admired the king, not only for his wealth but for his fairness and intelligence. One morning, the royal guard came rushing into the throne room. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing deeply, "something terrible has happened. A precious ruby from the royal crown is missing." The entire court gasped. The ruby was one of the rarest jewels in the kingdom, believed to bring luck and protection to the ruler. Losing it was a matter of great shame. The king's eyes narrowed. "Who entered the treasury last night?" he asked calmly. The guards named 5 palace servants who had access: the cook, the gardener, the cleaner, the stable boy, and the royal messenger. Each one swore innocence, trembling before the king's gaze. There was no sign of forced entry, no broken locks. It seemed as though the thief had walked in freely and walked out unnoticed. Instead of punishing them immediately, King Arvind sat silently, stroking his beard. He was not a man who believed in guesses. He believed in truth. He decided to catch the thief not by anger or torture, but by wisdom. "Very well," said the king. "I will give each of you a chance to prove your honesty. Tomorrow morning you shall all come before me, and I will find out who among you speaks lies." The servants exchanged nervous glances. The king's calmness scared them even more than his anger. What trick was the wise king planning? The king's clever plan. That night, King Arvind sat in his private chamber, deep in thought. Suddenly his eyes fell on a large round mirror that hung on the wall, polished so clearly that it reflected every corner of the room. A clever idea sparked in his mind. The next morning, the 5 suspects were brought into the royal hall. The king sat on his golden throne, holding the mirror in his hand. "This," he said, lifting the shining glass for all to see, "is no ordinary mirror. It is a magic mirror, given to me by a saint in the mountains. It can reveal the face of any liar." The servants stared in fear. The mirror gleamed brightly under the morning sun, and each man's reflection looked sharper than ever. "I will pass this mirror to each of you," the king continued, "and you must look into it and say, 'I am not the thief.' If you are innocent, the mirror will stay clear. But if you are guilty, it will darken and show your guilt." One by one, the servants approached the mirror. The cook looked nervous but spoke his words clearly. The gardener trembled but obeyed. The cleaner wiped his hands before touching it. The stable boy whispered softly, avoiding eye contact. And finally, the royal messenger looked into the mirror, but his face turned pale. When he returned the mirror, everyone noticed beads of sweat on his forehead. The mirror, of course, did not truly hold any magic, but the king's sharp eyes caught every movement, every hesitation, every flicker of fear. The thief's confession. After the ceremony, the king dismissed everyone, saying he would announce the results the next day. But secretly, he sent guards to keep watch on each of the 5 suspects. That night, something interesting happened. The royal messenger couldn't sleep. His mind kept replaying the king's words. "The mirror will show your guilt." He tossed and turned, imagining the king seeing his reflection turning dark, his secret exposed to all. Finally, fear overcame him. He got out of bed, took the stolen ruby from his pouch, and quietly walked toward the royal garden. He planned to bury it under a rose bush, hoping no one would ever find it. But the wise king was already waiting there. The guards surrounded him as soon as he stepped into the garden. The messenger dropped to his knees, trembling. "Forgive me, Your Majesty. I couldn't resist the beauty of the ruby. I thought I could take it just for a day and return it later, but then I panicked." The king looked at him with calm eyes. "You did not fear the gods," he said softly, "but you feared your own reflection. The mirror showed nothing but your conscience." The messenger wept and confessed everything. The stolen ruby was safely returned to the crown. The lesson of the mirror. The next morning, the king gathered the court once again. The thief stood beside him, ashamed but grateful for being caught before it was too late. King Arvind addressed his people. This mirror is not magic. It only reflects what is already inside us, truth or guilt. When we do wrong, it is not others who see it first. It is we who feel it first, deep inside. He turned to the other servants and said kindly, "Let this be a lesson. Honesty may not make you rich, but it will always make you peaceful." Then he forgave the messenger, but sent him to work in the village, where he could learn humility and earn back his honor through good deeds. From that day on, the story of the mirror of truth spread across the land. Parents told it to their children, teachers used it in schools, and people began to say, "Even if no one sees you're wrong, the mirror of your heart does." King Arvind ruled wisely for many more years, loved by his people, not for his treasure but for his wisdom. And the mirror, still shining in the palace, became a symbol of truth, honesty, and the power of a clear conscience.